Hi everyone, and welcome to Monday Night Stamping. This is where we come together to chat, to connect, and to create together. And I love that we do this every Monday night. My husband often watches Monday Night Football when it's on, and I get to spend time with you. So my name is Lillian with Stamper's Niche, and I'm coming to you from Alberta, Canada, where it's a tad warmer than it was a week ago, and we're enjoying that. We've also got some more snow, so that's always a plus too. So today's date is the January, I'm not even sure what day we're on here, the 22nd, 2024, and I'm just glad that you're here. Today we had how days don't ever go as planned, or often don't, and we had a sick grandchild. Our grandchild wake up sick this morning, and then an SOS call from her parents. So instead of doing what we had planned to do today, we were on grandparent duty and looking after a sick grandchild. She's doing a little better. She's got likely another day to go, but it all went well. So I'm feeling just likely that I didn't get quite as prepared as I was planning to tonight. I knew what I was going to do. I just didn't, well, you know how it is. When the day goes differently than you plan it, but it all works out in the long run. So let's go down to my desktop here, which I've just already done. And while I'm getting things set up on my computer and that kind of thing, I have a question for you. What is your favorite soup? So we had soup today. She chose mushroom soup. So that's always a hit here. We love turkey soup. We love all different kinds of soup. So what is your favorite kind of soup? Let us know in the comments as I'm getting the computer going and making sure that we're all connected and everything's working properly, which it seems to be doing weird things. But it gradually gets there. So I see several of you here, and I love that you're saying hello to each other and letting us know that you're here. I just love that. On the weekend, I was able to go to a stamping event and connect with other stampers and create together and share ideas. And it was just so much fun and so exhilarating and so inspiring. Cheesy potato cauliflower soup. Oh, Catherine, I might need that recipe. That sounds amazing. Let's see what other kinds of soups people like. Oh, love it, love it, love it. All righty. While you're entering that and continue to say hello and people are still hopping on, you might see this little tray, which comes with the glass mat and we often use for paint or that kind of thing. But tonight I've got it full of hearts. And I just want to celebrate some projects using different types of hearts and what you can do with them. And hearts aren't just for Valentine's Day. There's anniversaries, there's engagements, there's weddings, there's just thinking of you. And then of course hearts can turn into other things as well. So the focus tonight is something found in the mini catalog, and it's called a hybrid embossing folder. Now these hybrid embossing folders, we've had a few in the past, and there are two in this catalog. There is this one here, the Adorning Hearts, which we're going to use tonight. And then there is this one here called Thoughtful Moments, which I've got ready to use at a later date here. So this one comes as a bundle. This one does not. Just a second. Yeah, this one does not. But the brayer is also an add-on that you might want with these. So you might have looked at them and just wondered, what in the world? I'm just sorry, I have to pause. I'm seeing so many good soup suggestions going through. Vegetable with small meatball, homemade, and the Dutch way. Ooh, I think I'm going to be reaching out to some of you for some recipes. Anyway, this is the one that we're going to be talking about tonight. And you can see some samples here that are found in the book, but you also see some samples in Celebration. So in Celebration, you see the samples right here, and they have paired it with this paper here. So I want to just sort of show you this embossing folder, this here, and then we're going to make a project. And I love how Stampin' Up! Coordinates things, and to me, this paper and this hybrid embossing folder, they go together like, well, like peanut butter and jelly. They fit so well together. And we're actually going to case this project here tonight. So we'll just tuck these away, and let me just bring in, first of all, the hybrid embossing folder. So it all comes together, but when you open the package, there's the embossing folder. It's a 3D one. So we know how to use these. They are fabulous. They're nice, deep embossing. But there's also these dies. So you see, they're like this. So you get this one big one, which is why I could cut out so many hearts. Big one like that, and then there are all these other supporting actors, I would call them, in the role. Now, one of the things that always blows the mind is that you can use this embossing folder as an embossing folder. Let me just put this over here. And you end up with this gorgeous here. So this is the embossed side, so things are raised up. This is the debossed side, which I find equally beautiful. And as you know, I always like to try it again in metallics, and here it is in the rose gold. It's really shimmery, but it really catches your eye. And so there, you can use it as strictly an embossing folder, or you can use it strictly as a die. So this, I'll just bring up my little get acquainted sheet here. So it cuts out this, and these are what comes out of here, and then you get all of these here, and this is one die. Let me just bring this out here. This is one die, and it cuts out this shape, but it also cuts out these 3 hearts. And this die here cuts out all 4 hearts at once, because sometimes you want a whole lot, whether it is for confetti or just to fill in space. So some neat accents there. And you're saying, well, what about these? Well, I'm going to talk about those in a minute. So these are your basic ones, and there were so many dies, I had to use 2 sheets. So now what you can also do is you can take your embossing folder, open it up, take your die, your big die, tuck it in your embossing folder, and you see how it was sliding around, and now all of a sudden it's locked in place. So it sort of drops down into those grooves, and there it is. And now you can put paper in here and run it through the Stampin' Cut and Emboss, and it will emboss and cut at the same time. Now, I had a team meeting last week, and although we've had these types of embossing folders for a while, it still blew their mind that you could put paper in here and close it up and run it through, and it doesn't cut your embossing folder, and it doesn't. So let's just try that. So we've got these 2 locked together. I'm going to do this. Now, you can always do a smaller piece of paper, but I'm just doing this piece of bubble bath. It's 6 by 6. I'm going to layer it with these I don't need. Just get rid of those. Bring in the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine here, and we're going to use platform 1 only. Then we're going to put because it's a 3D, put this in, and we're going to put the fold going in first, and then we're going to bring in specialty plate 4 and run this through the embossing machine. And as you can see by all the hearts on my desk, I just kind of got a little carried away. It was just so much fun. And I thought, well, I'm going to try this. Well, I'm going to try that, and so on. So let's get this out of the way. And now let's open it up. You can already see how gorgeous that embossing is. We're going to take this off, and we've got this. Now, if we hadn't had the die in there, this would be gorgeous as is, but now we take this off, and those hearts just fall out. And we have this, which, did anyone else notice? This would make a great tic-tac-toe. So if you did hearts in 2 colors, that's what's flying around in my head these days, is the tic-tac-toe game with this. I'll have to work on that. And then you've got all these great hearts. So, and again, you can use either the embossed side or the debossed side. Both are gorgeous. So there we have it. That's how that works. And let me just bring in a few more things to show you here. So that being said, here is my Get Acquainted sheet for the rest of the dies. So this is embossed, these are embossed, and then we have these other dies like this. Now these are absolutely gorgeous, and you can layer these onto, where's my other sheet? You can layer them onto here, and then you have a bit of a border, or you can layer them onto here and they fit almost perfectly. So you can do either, or you could just use them as is. They're absolutely stunning. For these intricate ones, it is where your adhesive sheets come in very handy, unless you're really good with your glue. But absolutely, I have to admit, I wasn't sure if I wanted this embossing folder, and I thought that, well, I need some hearts, and I need to do some Valentine's classes for some people. So I'm so glad I got them. I've had so much fun with them. So a couple of things I have learned is, if it works fine on everything, as you just saw with the bubble bath, but if you're using basic white, I would use the thick basic white. I'm just trying to see here. Yeah, this was basic white, and I don't know if you can see, because it's a little thinner, there's some wrinkles every once in a while. They're barely noticeable. If you didn't point them out, it would be no big deal. But you don't get that if you use the thick. So if you use the thick or any of the colored cardstocks, you don't get that. You just might get the odd wrinkle with the thinner basic white. But that's just a little tip there. So let's put this aside. And I said that, where did I put that? Here it is. I said I was going to case this card here. So let's look at this paper before we go any further. This paper is absolutely stunning, and I am down to just a few. Karen, the thick worked better? Yes, it does. And that's something you learn as you go along. So this here, I'm suspecting it is going to sell out. So if you like it, I would get it sooner rather than later. So you have all of these gorgeous pinks and reds and whites on this side. Let me just show it to you that way. And then on the back, it's all white and gold. So you have this like that. And these, let me just see if I can get it better in the camera. These you can leave as is, or you can always sponge over top and change the color, of course, too. When you have a white background like that, you can make it any color you want. This piece is actually one of my favorites, and I just love the falling hearts. Have I made anything with it? No, I've used the other side, but this is still one of my favorites. But anyway, that's where I'm at. So we're going to case this card and do it just a little bit differently. Just before we do that, I want to bring up this again. I wanted to show, so we did the bubble bath. We've done it in gold. We've got the plain ones, so plain white, plain red, because you can never have enough plain ones, right? So we've done plain die cuts, but with patterned paper as well. We have this is the soft shimmer paper, which comes in all of these different colors. It's in the annual catalog. And look at the design. It cuts beautifully and embosses beautifully on this shimmer paper as well. So you can use it with pretty much anything. One more thing before we go on. How did I get these colored ones? Well, this is why the brayer was displayed with it. So what you can do is you can take your ink and your brayer. Now, when you've got your brayer, the thing to remember, let me just grab an ink pad here. The thing to remember is I like to use my ink pad so it's this way versus this way when I'm using my brayer. And then I want to remember that these little legs, which are good for standing the brayer up on, I want them to face up when I'm inking this up. And when I'm inking it up, I run it through the ink pad and I roll, lift, roll. And you can see now I'm only getting part of the brayer. Then I shift it down, roll, lift, roll. Why am I not going like this? Because if I did it like that, I would be only inking the bottom part of the brayer. I'm not getting any ink on the top part. So you have to make sure you just keep rolling one direction. And that's how you get the ink on. Once you've got the ink on, then you're going to ink up your embossing folder, whichever side you want, and ink it up different directions. And I'm going to talk more about the brayer and inking up your embossing folder when I show the thoughtful, whatever it is, hybrid one. But this is one way of getting color on. And again, I colored for these, I colored both sides because I wanted to see, okay, this is one side and this is the other side. So it's different looks. This looks very Scandinavian to me. So it's a great way to get color. I think this was Flirty Flamingo on here. So you can see the differences there. So there are all different kinds of techniques that you can do with these hybrid embossing folders. Today, we're just going to make a card. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to case that card that I showed you. This was my first case. So here, let me just bring that back in so that you can see how it compares. So basically, it is a piece of cardstock layered on top of a card base, and there are 6 hearts and some words. And then there's some embellishments and that kind of thing. So here's my card stock going across. I layered it up. I added the hearts, and I don't know if you can see, but I did use an embossing folder on the black, and it's a really pretty celebration one too. It is the one that comes here with, if you place a $120 order, you get this stamp set, which is great, and this embossing folder. So you kind of get your own bundle. So we're using this paper here, and I'm going to change it up just a little bit. So let's put that there. So let's bring in our card base to begin with, and I'm going to move this back a bit so I have more space. So this is 4 1/4 by 11. It's scored in half. So we're going to just burnish that fold and make it nice and crisp. So I am sticking with the white card base like that. Then we're bringing in the other pieces. We're bringing in real red, and this is 5 1/2. So it's going edge to edge, and it is, I believe, 3 1/4. Yes, 3 1/4. So we've got that. And then we've got, instead of black, I've brought in white. And this is 3 by 5 1/2. And what I did is I cut it to this size. Then I placed it in the embossing folder and ran it through. So I've got these hearts somewhere in the middle, and I've cut a bit here and here. So just use it like a regular embossing folder here. So we've done that, and that's going to layer on top of here. This card is really quite quick once you've figured out what you're doing. And then what we're going to do is bring in some of these die cut hearts, and we're going to stick with the hearts from the paper. So you could have gone with the gold, and that would look, of course, stunning on the black. Look at this on the black. Wouldn't that look great? But I'm going for for more Valentine's colors here. So these we're going to put on. We're actually just going to make our life easy and follow the same pattern, copying it right from the book. And there we go. Just like that. That's going to go on like that. So let's stop and fasten those hearts on first, and then we will go from there. So now, when I'm doing things where I want to arrange multiples in a row and kind of get everything centered, I lightly put them in place, and just to make sure I've got enough space like that. And then I'm just going to slide that over a bit. And then what I do is I start with my outside ones, and I'll put this one down and this one down. And then this one I can move it either way to make it centered. So I'm going to bring this in just a smidge. There we go. And so then we're good to go. So let's do that. I am not putting any of these on dimensionals. We've got lots of interest happening here. And am I using the right side here? I want, embossed, debossed. I don't think it matters. Okay, we'll go with that. And now that I've mucked this up, I will just try this again. And I've made this a few times, so I should be able to figure it out. There we go. Whoops, I must have squeezed the glue and all that excitement. I've got too much on there, so I'm going to put a bit on that one as well. Borrow it. So we'll put this here. Let's double check while it's still wet. Yep, that's going to work. And we'll put this one over here. I'm just going to put that. Yeah. So now it's really easy to space this one here because I can just aim for the middle. Whereas if I put this down first and was a little bit too far one way or the other, it would be hard to get my spacing right. So for me, that helps me get everything spaced correctly. You likely have your own way of doing it. That works for me. So thought I'd share that just in case it works for you too. Now you could easily put these, all of these or some of these or one of these on dimensionals. But like I said, I'm not going to because I have another plan. And I think it'll be bulky enough. There we go. So just even like that, even if I had just used white and hadn't done the embossing behind, isn't that pretty? Just so striking like that. Now I'm going to put it on this layer here. And again, I am just putting it one layer. Now this is really bumpy. It's got some deep grooves. It's deep embossing, so I am a bit more generous with my glue. And I love liquid glue when I'm doing using embossed pieces because it gets down in the grooves. But you know, whatever works for you, right? So let's slide that into position. And I'm just going to turn it over and give it a good squish. And hopefully that it's all good. There we go. And now I'm going to put this on here. Now, if you were wanting to tie a ribbon around it, this would be the time to do it. I'm not going to, but I just wanted to show you. I'll just place one over. If I was tying this around, you could do that, and you could tie a little bow or something. Believe it or not, I don't have any red ribbon in it. I've used it all up over Christmas, so I'm going to have to replenish my stock there. But in the meantime, it's all good. Do you ever get caught with running out of something that you thought you had enough of forever? But I do. The bubble bath hearts with the shimmer paper hearts that you cut out would look stunning. Ooh! Oh, I better glue this down before I get sidetracked and try that out, Judy. I love it when you guys make suggestions because you see things that I don't always see. Let's bring these two in. Judy's saying put these two, ooh, Judy, look at those colors together. Wouldn't that make a fabulous, oh, I don't know, anniversary card? What would you use them for? Even thinking of you cards and whatever. Pardon me, my voice is going weird. So now we have got our basic card, just like this. Now we're just need some words. And so I thought for these words here, we're going to bring in one of the plain white hearts, and we're bringing in the stamp set Perennial Postage. So this stamp set, if you buy as a bundle, it comes with the Perennial Postage dies, you know, that we've all fallen in love with. I'm going to use Big Hugs from this set here. It works perfectly, I think. Just before I use it, though, some of you are going to say, where did this one come from? That one came from Zany Zoo. So you remember, look through your stamp sets and think, okay, is there, are there words that fit? And on this one here, I was looking for words suitable to go with hearts, but also I wanted long and skinny. So I had two things I was looking for. So that worked out just well. And that's when I was thinking, wish I had bought the stamp set with the dies, but I didn't. So obviously I'm going to have to reconsider that one. So I'm going to use Memento Black ink and just ink this up. I'm going to stamp this in the corner here. I am still absolutely loving my glass mat. How many of you have a glass mat you work on? I didn't know what the big deal was about glass mats until I got one and realized, oh my, they are absolutely amazing. Now, remember I said that I really liked this die here and the little hearts. So I have to use it on this. We're going to put the little hearts on this heart here. So we're going to, I'm just going to place them to begin with. One there, and one there. Oh. Or I could have just put one on. And yeah, something like that. I'm going to put this on the inside. So because I'm putting that on the inside and I didn't use adhesive sheets, I'm going to put some little dabs of glue on this and let it sit while I'm doing the other stuff. And it will spread less if I do that. So I'm going to put that to the side and come back to it in a minute. And when I'm putting little pieces onto something, I tend to pick it up with my Take Your Pick tool and do a dot of glue and put it like that. Instead of trying to put the glue on the little piece, I find it easier just to put the glue on the surface that I want the little piece to go on. And last but not least, this one right here. Got that a little bit high, but it's good. There we go. So we've got that. And what we're going to do, my plan is that it's going to go on here, but I want somehow to bring a little more attention to that. So I brought in my black and white gingham ribbon and to just bring, because the words are in black, and I thought this would just add a little bit of contrast, and we could add it to the card, something like that. So what do you think? What color ribbon would you have added, or how would you highlight this heart? We all do have our own little tricks of the trade. So let me know some of your tricks with that. Sue, you loving this? You know what, Sue? I just can't believe how much I am loving this hybrid embossing folder. I could play with it all day long. In fact, I think I might have to offer a class with it. There we go. You like the black and white, Catherine? Great, that's great. You know, initially I was looking for red ribbon, and then I thought, well, I think the black and white might pop a little bit more. Put it on dimensionals. Oh, great minds think alike, Judy. I love how you think. There we go. We're going to bring those in, and this is where we can add the dimensionals, right? I'm going to put one over top of that ribbon just to help hold it in place. There we go. I know that was maybe a bit overkill with dimensionals, but better too many than too little. And I always like to reinforce holding that ribbon on. So that works. And I had in my mind that it was going to go at an angle, so maybe I should have angled the ribbon a bit more. We'll do a little ribbon surgery here and angle it more that way. And oh, that'll do. You get the idea. Offset the words on a red foil heart. Ooh, that would look good too. Oh, I like that. Then, of course, we have to add some embellishments. So my initial reaction was I wanted to use the iridescent foil gems. So I'm just loving these gems. You can see I colored one there. So these, let me just get that. So these would look like that. I'll bring it up closer. I think that would be better. They're gorgeous in person. And then I thought, well, maybe I need to bring in a little bit more black. So I went and got my sparkle gems, and let's bring them in. So you guys, are you ready to make a decision here? So do we want A or do we want black? Do we want black gems? Black or the iridescent? Which should we use for the embellishments? Black or A or B? Black, black, black. I'm seeing black. Excellent. Black it is. We'll move this out of the way. And oh, here's my take your pick. Almost lost it there in my tidy area. Ha ha ha. Okay, so now I think I'll put one here, and I'm going to put it there. There we go. So we've got that. We'll move that out of the way, and then we'll bring back in that little piece that we put the adhesive on, and we'll bring that inside. And just put that down in the corner. And just like that, we have a card all ready to go. And because it says big hugs, it could be for any occasion. I have a couple of friends going through really tough times right now, actually several. So this would work as a card to send to them as well, just to let them know they're being thought of and cared about, that kind of thing. So here is, let me move some of this junk out of the way. Here is the original card that I made. Here is the card we made tonight. So which way do you like that? Which one? And then, of course, this is the one that was made here. And you could change the color of these hearts up to be whatever you want, obviously. So do you like the black or do you like the white behind the hearts? Black or white? I'm going to show you because I did get a little carried away. So let me just show you a few more things here. All right, so here is what we made. Here is basically the same design, but this one I actually cut it out and inserted the embossed pieces. So these pieces like this, once I'd cut it out, I did this, and then this is just the same as what we did tonight. This ribbon is from Celebration, as are these embellishments. So I loved how they went together. So if we had, oh, here, I've got this. It's all tangled up. So I've got this, and so all I did was glue this down and then pop these in the holes like that, which you could also have put them on dimensionals too. So there's that. So This one's almost the same. This one here is basically this one turned this way. So for the background, I put these ones on dimensionals and added a little bit. As you can see, I was on a roll with this little heart there. I loved how that came together. So we've got that there. Let's see there, so you can see. This is using up some of the scraps of the paper and just putting a circle on it. And this, sending love and best wishes. And that, again, those words are from the perennial postage. So I mean, it doesn't get much better than just putting some strips. I think they're 1 by 3. Let me double check here. 1 by 3. Yeah, so 1 by 3 for those. And then this is the one I shared on Facebook and asked what color. In the end, I was going to zero in on a color that I had ribbon for, and then I changed my mind. And so I put Blackberry Bliss behind here because I had these great embellishments that are all the purples. Let me grab them for you here. Once I found that I had them, that my decision was made. The Purple Fine Shimmer Gems. So these come and they've got all different shades of purples in there. So gorgeous, gorgeous gems. So I've got that. That was another one. Then I use this. This stamp set is from Celebration, and I just put the 2 hearts together. And again, the black ribbon, gingham ribbon there. Yes, those gems are stunning, Judy. You know me, I'm not even that big a purple person. In fact, I very seldom use it, but I love those gems. So I made this card. Now here's the identical card, but I turned the hearts on the side and put a crease in them so they sort of look like lips, if you wanted, if you wanted that. And then this card here is my elegant card. So remember, I used the die cuts here and stuck them to here and then just mounted them. Embossing folder here. And then this is from that other hybrid embossing folder. And I'm going to be talking about that in a week or so, or sharing about that. So it is a fabulous hybrid embossing folder too. The hybrid embossing folders are amazing in that you get so much bang for your buck, I think is what it is. They just seem to do so much. Talk about supersizing something. They are just amazing. Sorry, I just had to give my nose a swipe. So these all could have been created with other colors, but because I was enjoying this paper, I kind of zeroed in on that. And plus I'm getting ready to do Love is in the Air class with a community center over here. And so I was playing with those ideas as well. Now I just have to, I do have a little bit of show and tell too. So I wanted to just take a moment here. Now remember when I made this set of cards with you, and do you remember the technique that we used here? My team got together, the ones that lived locally or were able to come, and one of the team members used the concept of making the mask, sponging it in, stamping over top, and she created this card. I just love it. She said, I used your idea and then made the card. So she sponged the background and then stamped over top. And I love how that turned out. So speaking of this, if you are wanting this class, it is free. It is my gift to you if you spend $60 or more in my from me, either in my online class or by contacting me. Or if you have another demonstrator but still want the class packet, you can also contact me or go to here and purchase it. So you can either earn it for free or purchase it, either way. So here is one of the show and tell cards. Here is another one that this set is absolutely beautiful. It's in the mini catalog. I forget the name of it. Somebody, if you can remember, you could maybe jot it in the comments there. Well, actually, she's likely told me inside. It's called Quiet Reflection. That's it, because of the reflection in the water. The stamp does that reflection look. It's gorgeous. And then I received this one as well as a swap card. So you know me, I love that set. And here's another excellent one. Just remember, the annual catalog has wonderful things in it too. So she used predominantly the paper, but then she's got this stamp here, and it's working so, so well. And then last but not least, this is, oh, I forget what stamp set it is. Stamp set, Heartfelt Hexagons, Charming Sentiments, Dots and Spots. Nope, I don't know. I'll have to do a little more research there, but she's made a shaker card. Oh, that's where the dots and spots, she got all these dots from a die and then used them in the shaker card and threw in a heart as well. And then this is Heartfelt Hexagons here. So again, another gorgeous card from a team member. So speaking of which, if you are interested in becoming a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, even if it is just to take advantage of the wonderful special going on right now, contact me. I can give you all kinds of hints and clues and things to work on, but you do have a choice. You can either choose as an extra over and above is this here, the glass mat, which I'm in love with, or you can get extra free product. So contact me, we can talk about it, and there's no obligation. So that is just a heads up on how to make the most of celebration. So hope you enjoyed tonight's card. I'm just going to bring it back in here if I can find it in all this mess. So basically these are all the same card, but there's tonight's right there. So thank you so much for joining me. And remember, if you need some help with finding out how to do some of these things, or if you would like to purchase something, I'm here to help you in any way. The other thing is you can go to my website here, or you can use this link here. All right, take care, everyone, and bye-bye.